As promised, we've decided to take a walk along this project. It is fairly extensive, I guess, but Buck Dukes, who is with construction, engineering, and inspections, is also a part of the transportation sales tax program. He is one of those people who works along with Molly Lemin, who is in charge of the project. She is project manager. But Buck, what I wanted to find out is how much concrete or sidewalk are you going to be laying here?
Yeah, along the entire project, which goes from Northwoods Mall down the far entrance of Northwoods Mall all the way up to just past the intersection of Ashley Phosphate and Rivers Avenue.
Is there a lot involved, or is it just minimal? Is this an expensive project? In other words?
This is a large project. A lot of impact on a lot of people, the motoring public, which we work at night to try and reduce that impact. But it is a large project. We have to do excavation so that we'll have area to put the sidewalk in. Then we have to come back and set forms to hold the concrete till it can dry, and then pour the concrete. And it takes several nights for each step to go, and they can only get several hundred feet a night, 500-600 feet a night.
Well, I should have said that this was concrete and not cement.
Correct.
There is a difference.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would imagine that because we're using concrete here, that gives a tremendous life to this project.
Oh yeah, yes. Concrete's got almost a never-ending life. I mean, there's concrete around. It's been out 60, 70, 80 years easily.
And we're told that most of the work goes on at night. When the public sees the alerts, you got to go around and all of that kind of thing. It's not going to be for a long, long time. And hopefully it's during a time when most of the public's not traveling.
Correct. We start at 9 o'clock at night, and we're out of the road by 6 a.m. each morning. And that's the less flow. That's not a peak flow of traffic. And that's designed that way not only for the safety of the public and of the workers, but also it's for not to cause any more inconveniences to the motoring public than necessary.
Now, I'm wondering, since Rivers Avenue has two sides, apparently the public uses both. There are a lot of stores down here. Northwoods Mall is here, of course. Are we going to be replacing or putting in new sidewalk for both sides or just the one side?
Both sides.
For now?
Yes, we'll come from on both sides. And there are intermittent sidewalks in different areas along the Rivers Avenue now. We'll fill those in, connect them all. We will put in handicap ramps, make them completely ADA compliant for the mobility impaired, and just improve the safety of all the pedestrian traffic around.
Now, there's pedestrian signalization that Molly told us about that sounds really up to date and very modern. Will we see any of that at the other end of the project?
No, there's the intersection of Ashley Phosphate and Rivers is the main signalized intersection for this project. That is the greatest amount of coordination and that has to be done for the pedestrians.
A lot of the walkways that we've put in, sidewalks, etc., have been for both bicycle and pedestrians, walking and riding. Is that the same here?
Well, correct. It's a multi-use type sidewalk in here to give more safety to the pedestrians and the bicyclists.
And I also noticed that there are some parts of the road that have no indication that sidewalk has ever been there.
Correct.
So apparently the plan is to put in new sidewalk?
Yes, brand new sidewalk and connect it. You know, there's people they've been having to. If you think of some of our elderly citizens, some of our very young, right now they're on a sidewalk for a piece, then they don't really know which way to go. There's no sidewalk to direct them in a safe route. Those that have mobility impaired, they come to an intersection such as the intersection we're at right now, there's no ramp for them to get. If they were on sidewalk, there's no safe way for them to get back down and travel through the area. This will accomplish that.
Now, I know that these sidewalks are ADA approved, and therefore you can have people in wheelchairs and canes and anything else that they may depend on to give their mobility. With the sidewalks, will there be for the wheelchairs a way for one to to go down a ramp and then back to another side, or is it continuous? How is it being built?
It is. There are ramps at every intersection, every driveway, every intersection. There's a ramp that's ADA compliant, that follows all the regulations, so it's a gradual slope that would not throw somebody out of their wheelchair or whatever they may have. So it's safe for them to get. And then there will be designated areas. Some areas the sidewalk goes through the drives. Some areas there will be a painted crosswalk stripes on each side. This is their safe zone, their safe area.
And this really works for the public.
Oh, it'll greatly improve it.
The transportation sales tax program has laid down a lot of concrete thus far over the past, 6, 8 years.
That's exactly right.
To make sure that the public is enjoying their, and here's the word that I like, connectivity.
Connectivity.
And that's what's happening here. You can eat, you can shop, you can do all the rest when you go through here. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
But the traffic itself won't be slowed down in any way.
No,
I mean, you really can't do much about that, or can you?
No, this is one of the busier areas in Charleston with traffic. And one of the Ashley Phosphate Rivers Avenue is probably one of the busier intersections. But they will not see a lot of difference in their travel times or anything. Working late at night shouldn't affect them much.
But we do know that people use these sidewalks.
Correct.
And this is going to prove, especially in an area where there are none or there is no sidewalk, we know for certain that people are going to be using them.
Right. And it'll able to get them to, we've got businesses here, we've got banks, we've got drugstore, we've got doctor's offices, we've got churches, all these things in this area, and it will allow the people to safely get to their designations. A lot of people do not have their own transportation, rely on public transportation. There's a bus stop, at least one or two along this route, that will allow them to get to the bus stop and get to where they need to go, their business or their doctor or whatever they may need.
That sounds like a winner.
It is.
We're going to talk a little bit more, probably with Molly. I'm kind of interested in where she goes next and how many projects have we done like this without numbering them. There have been a lot, and I want the public to know that there have been quite a few projects of this kind for both rolling and bicycles, that is, and for walking. And we'll talk more about that when we return in just a moment.